Wow. Blast from the past. Okay. Hi, we just got back from a tour. We went to Japan, and it was wonderful. And we were invited by a company that works there. And I don't know. It was kind of a strange thing. They had me up on the stage with all these famous Japanese, what do you call it, motivational speakers. One guy sold 20 million books. Every third family has his book in Japan, and it was really nice. And then we spent time with a very famous diamond dealer who's the largest private jewelry collection in the world, starting from 3,000 years ago, Mesopotamia. And that was really awesome. And Orit put on Queen Elizabeth's diamond, $100 million diamond necklace, but he wouldn't let her go home with it. And then we went to Shenzhen, South China, and we're doing a special program there called Action Pi. And then we went to Vienna, and we had a wonderful time there. And I think that's the 6th year. They're on the 6th year of DCI program, so they're halfway through. And they're just amazing. It's called DACH. What do you call? Deutschland, Österreich, and Schweiz. All the German-speaking countries. So they all come there, and we have a good time. And it was just amazing. But we went around the world in 10 days or something. It was kind of hard physically. But the thing in China was interesting because I was using this teaching, which is called Angel Devil, right? Dangzin Shangdep in Tibetan is called Dangzin Shangdep. It's about a 300 years old teaching, and it's given by the first Panchen Lama, who was a famous poet, great philosopher, one of the best in history, and a pacifist, a great pacifist who personally prevented a war in Tibet. And so it's a cool book. Come in, handsome. Sit down, Mark. Just kidding. So I'm supposed to come up with 12 DCI levels, and DCI is a business training organization, and we use the ancient wisdom to teach business people around the world. So the team in China, this trip, has 2 million followers. It's a community of 2 million business people, and so we talked to the 40 top people. And it was amazing. And I was trying to get a new idea for them. I like your hair. And then I was thinking this would be a really nice class to use there. Because what this book is about, and it's very famous, and there hasn't been a good translation. And I think we should do one. It needs a commentary. It's poetry, and it's too difficult to understand without some kind of commentary. So when I have a free day, I'll write a commentary, and it's gonna be nice. I think it's a spiritual classic. I think it'll be like I don't know, Dante's Inferno or something. And it's an amazing book. But it's basically an argument in one person's mind between understanding and misunderstanding. So it's a very famous... Dangzin means tendency to see things that aren't there. Shangdep means like... what do you call it? Like a fierce argument where they're tearing each other apart. And it's in one person's mind, okay? So the whole argument, it's an argument within one person's mind. And it's amazing. And then when he introduces it, he calls it, this is a book on Mahamudra, okay? What's the main emphasis of a Mahamudra book?
Your own mind.
Yeah, you're meditating on your own mind. And it's supposed to be better. Do you remember why? Anybody? Not the human computer, huh? It's always there. You don't have to buy a meditation object.
It's the most interesting thing.
Yeah, it's the most interesting thing to people, and it's constantly changing. So it's interesting to watch. So those of you who are like me and bang your head on the closet when you fall asleep during meditation, it's supposed to be a particularly effective meditation to use your own mind as the object of meditation, okay? And he starts out with that. He starts out with describing why it's a Mahamudra meditation, okay? Mahamudra also refers to experiences you have as you die, okay? So as you die, then parts of your body open up, and you get flashes of insight by nature, not by training, okay? So it also refers to the direct perception of certain deeper truths while you're in the act of dying, okay? So that's all called path Mahamudra, okay? Sorry, foundation Mahamudra, okay? And then, so what we've been using this text as, and it's a thing we call diamond mining, which Nick can tell you about tomorrow maybe. So upstairs here we have a whole department, ancient book translation department, and I'm going to tell you about it tomorrow. I have a presentation tomorrow about it. But basically, we are translating the ancient classics of Buddhism, 2,500 years of classics, and she's just amazed about it. And it's okay. And we think of it as snow on the mountain, on the top of the mountain. So in our college, the snow falls upstairs, and people sit up there, and we go through the ancient classics of Buddhism, and they're extremely difficult, and we're going through them in an amazing way. I'll tell you more about it tomorrow. But then we see it as the snow melts and the water comes downstairs, and then down here we teach teachers, mainly right now Diamond Cutter Institute teachers, which is business programs, but we base them on the ancient wisdom. So we have a constant flow of new snow upstairs, and we have constant flow of new ideas coming downstairs. And I have two reasons to give these talks in Sedona. I mean, one is some of the people who work here in the college, they have moved here from all over the world, and we don't see each other very often. To be honest, I think I'm here half the year, and when I'm here, I'm sleeping off the jet lag and doing gardening and trying to see my partner, and Veronica, and thanks for your nice note. And so I have to, it's a, what do you call it, delicate line to walk, like not being home enough. And when I'm home, I have to be home. So then we just end up not seeing each other very much. So I thought it would be nice. I would like to give these talks 3 or 4 times a year. And I think it's nice that we just all see each other. And people often move to Sedona thinking that they're going to see us. And then they move away 6 months later, having never seen anyone. And, we're just all really, really busy doing sweet things. Although Nick's falling asleep right now. He's building a yoga studio and doing other things, and running the whole translation department. So anyway, the idea is we take the ancient wisdom, we go diamond mining, we pick out great ideas, and then we try to use it in real life. And I think last year 30,000 people came to DCI programs. We have a talk in Taipei in 2 weeks, I think. 3,000 people are signed up. But I think if we do it here, 2 things happen. I think our community gets a little closer to each other. We see each other. It's an excuse to see each other. And I think, secondly, it helps me to have a little laboratory where I can test out new ideas. If you fall asleep right away, then I'll change the presentation slightly. And like that. And it's been working. We had some nice experiences in China. We taught what I taught you what was it, November. I taught it in China for 2 days, and it was really cool. We had a really, really good time. And so I think my idea is to go on like that. So how do you use this text in your real life? we all have an internal conversation, you know, and we have we've promised 12 DCI levels. We're on we just finished level 10, right? Which is about managing anger. And then people keep asking me, what's level 11? We release the new level every November in Berlin, because Germany's where we started, the first level. The first level was started kind of in Austria, right? Peter, where are you? Yeah. You were the first organizer, I think, ever. He organized something in Vienna, and then a volcano blew up in Iceland, and there were no international flights, and I was stuck in New York, and he had paid $8,000 for the Prince's Palace, and I couldn't go, and so that was the first DCI event ever. We finally got on the first flight out, and the president of Lufthansa was on the plane because he swore it wouldn't fall down, and he was willing to fly with us, you know. So we were like, okay. Then they flew to Africa and up, and anyway, so every year the first level is held the new level is revealed in Germany, and I'm working on it, and it's called The Inner Conversation. And it's based on this text, okay, like how to monitor your inner conversation. I thought it was so original and cool, and then people showed me like 12 business books already called Inner Conversations, so that's okay. And the idea is that there's a good part of your mind and a bad part of your mind, okay? And we have that little picture in America of the devil and talking to the angel, and the devil says, you know, I don't know, eat more chocolate, and the angel says that's not good for you, and then they argue in your mind, right? And so this whole text, written 400 years ago, it's a real angel versus devil talk, okay? But it's different. It's a lot different, and they're talking about a battle between two states of mind, okay? And most people don't have this battle, because it's the understanding of emptiness fighting the mind who doesn't understand emptiness, or who understands it partially, okay? Like a partial understanding. So he's picking on people who have a partial understanding of emptiness, slightly wrong. And then against that devil is the angel, and the angel is perfect understanding of emptiness. And the goal is, according to this idea, that if you understand emptiness, you would never have problems in your life, especially with people, okay? And I use this inner conversation. I use the text myself. I try it on myself, because I need it every day, because I meet irritating people every day, okay? Like Word. And just kidding. Not. But, you know, I do, you know, we're so busy, and we meet so many people, and we work in so many countries, and we're tired because we just got off the plane and we had 2 hours of sleep or something. And so I do have personal challenges. I do meet people who give me a hard time. And then if you understand emptiness, if you have a strong angel in your mind, you can turn it into a beautiful thing, you see? You can not just not get angry, but you can actually turn it into an almost divine experience when you meet irritating people. So that would be a nice thing to learn, right? So that's what we're going to do for 3 days. How to use an understanding of emptiness to, when you have challenges, basically, okay? You can use it for goals, of course, but I think each of us, the first motivation in life is to avoid suffering, irritating people. And I think let's talk about it in that context, okay? Challenges with your health, or financial challenges, or personal problems. How do you use the inner conversation to deal with that, okay? And we're pretty deep into the text. I've been teaching this text for 6 or 7 years, off and on, more off than on. And my goal is to finish it. I think I can finish by 2022. And if we go kind of at this rate. And so I think we're kind of halfway through. And I beg the patience of people who haven't come before. Because if I review the whole thing as I did last time and the time before and the time before and the time before, we'll never finish, okay? So if you haven't been to this series in the last 6-7 years, just relax, okay? You can use the angel on me as the irritating person in your life tonight. And I'll teach you how to do it, okay? So don't get all excited and don't give up. And it's, he was a great philosopher. He's going very deep. He's going very subtle. And I just want to jump into that. I don't want to review again the whole thing, which we did last time, okay? Now, tools. I gave you some tools, okay? You're going to have a reading every night, which is about 25 more verses from his poem. And we will never cover them, but at least you have it in your hand. And then there's my notes to the verses, because I don't think, without an explanation, I don't think you can see where it's going, okay? So I'm going to teach from the notes. And I'm not going to do this Geshe Michael thing of explain every single Tibetan word, because I learned that over the course of the last 5-6 years, it's too much for people and it goes too slow. So I'm just I'm going to follow the flow of ideas. I'll tell you what verse we're on. Then you go home and try to fit the verse to what I said, okay? And I think that's the only way we'll ever get done with this text, okay? He lived to 100. For me to finish this, I'm going to have to do the same. So I'm just saying, he said he lived to 100, which you're talking about a country where people died at 40. And he was very unusual. He lived to 92 or something like that, but he's called the 100-year Lama. And okay, so here we go. What is the state of mind that can protect you? And when you meet an irritating person or you have a problem in your life, the landlord of your new yoga studio is a pain in the ass. And how can you use this internal conversation to deal with that problem, okay? And I do mean internal conversation, okay? And this is a kind of meditation, all right? It's a meditation that you walk around with all day long. And as your mind talks to your mind, which it does, right, all the time, you train an angel to step in and pick up the conversation, you see? And how often do you need to use it? About once every 5 minutes, okay? And I'm not kidding. I have a normal, we all have our own work, we have our own life, we meet at people. Rosa's a famous fashion designer. And you meet people all day, and you have challenges all day. We all have. We equally have challenges. So you can learn to use this angel in your head, okay? And he would say one more thing when he advertises. He would say, if you get it, if you manage to install the angel in your mind where she can talk every 5 minutes, okay? You will be a happy person for the rest of your life, and you will be super successful. And if you don't, you cannot be happy. So he's not saying you'll be happier. He's not saying that. He's saying if you don't understand where the world is coming from, you will never really be happy, okay? Things will conspire to make you unhappy, okay? Every time you're unhappy, you are misunderstanding the world, okay? And so he's very radical. He's saying, I don't want to improve your life. Either you get an angel in your head or you don't. If you do, your life is perfect. And if you don't, your life sucks. And there's no in-between. He does not propose an in-between, okay? So here we go. So actually, we're going after angels who aren't quite great, okay? Nice, but no cigar. I was trying to explain this to a Chinese friend. Nice, but no cigar. He's like, what's a cigar got to do with it? What does cigar have to do? I don't know. But anyway,
W.C. Fields.
Not quite perfect, okay? So he's going after meditations which are not quite perfect, okay? Which is good for people like most of you who have been trying to meditate for 20 years or 25 years. And, you know, he's pointing out subtle flaws in meditation, okay, for us, okay? So I think it's a good text for the people in this room. I'd say the average meditation years in this room is about 20 that I'm aware of. 25, 50, okay. Just kidding. Okay, I'm on verse, I'm going to start at 117, which is where we left off last time. And don't worry too much about looking at it, okay? I would encourage you to just listen and take the text home and look at it at home, okay? First look at the notes, then you'll remember what I said, and then look at the poetry and see how it matches the notes, okay? See if you can figure that out. So that's your homework, okay? And you can do it for the next few weeks, or it doesn't matter. Take it home, and, you know, like before you go to bed or something, just chew on it a little bit, okay? All right, here we go. So in verse 117, he's talking about a special meditation. In the structure of this book, I wouldn't put it there. Take it down, yeah. I don't know, they're going to look at that and not listen. Okay. Read it at home. Figure out at home what I said, okay? But he's talking about, there's a huge section where he's going to talk about ideas of meditation that were popular in Tibet 400 years ago, okay? Tibet was, exploding with this new Buddhism stuff. And people were coming up with all kinds of meditations, you know? And so the first part of his book is pointing out how they're nice, but they're no cigar. Nice but no cigar? Close but no cigar, okay? So he says, you know, that's nice, that's good that you're meditating, but, you know, you could do better. So he's kind of nitpicking people in his own culture. And in his culture, Buddhism exploded. It was like every corner had a yoga studio, and there was a yoga teacher in every yoga studio who made up a meditation that they thought would be cool. And then he's critiquing them, okay? He goes through that. I think it's 26 critiques of different kinds of meditation. And then Nick will be interested. Then he turns to the classic schools of meditation. He turns to 2,000 years of Buddhist meditations, and he critiques those, starting with the schools that were popular in India before the Buddha. Okay, so he kind of does Ben Kramer's Siddhanta text, where he starts with the ancient schools of India before the Buddha came. He talks about what they think meditation is, and then he starts in on the Buddhist schools, and he works his way up from the lower schools. And I was wondering, you know, and I thought to pose it to you. And I've been doing this in China. I'll say, $500 for the best answer. Sometimes I lose like $3,000-$4,000 every night. And Veronica told me it'd be tacky in the United States. Right?
No, Geshe.
Shut He won 3,000 one day. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. You guys are motivated. But I'll ask you a question. I'm curious. Maybe Hector's into this kind of question, I think. Why does he do it this way? I mean, if he's going to talk about Mahamudra, like how to do a proper meditation on the emptiness of your mind, why devote most of his book to faulty systems, you know, nitpicking the local yoga teacher's meditation system? Like why? And then he nitpicks all the great thinkers of Buddhism one by one, who's not Nagarjuna. You know. So what do you think? Why does he do it? Why did he write a book in a negative way? I'm just curious what you think, Bonnie.
Because that's what your mind would do, absent his going through.
Yeah, I think that's one good answer. I think, and they say all the great schools of Buddhism were taught by the Buddha. because he was anticipating mistakes that we would make. So you can say, this book is not historical, this book is metaphorical. And it's a review of all the mistakes that a normal person will make in their meditation. And kind of by blaming it on some other school, he makes us feel better about ourselves. In private, you're like, oh, I was doing that yesterday. I was doing that meditation yesterday. I thought it was really good. And then you're like, oh, yeah, that school is not very good, And anybody else? Why is he? I mean, it's kind of disturbing that it's negative. Piotr Veliki. Is it Piotr Veliki? Masha? Tak надо сказать, да? Piotr Veliki. Okay, go.
We have never experienced true Mahamudra, and it's extremely difficult to get there. So we must have the tendency to be half happy with something which is not the whole thing, and then we give up. We stay there and we don't go to the end.
Okay, good. Yeah, so we want to get it, and we try, and then what we do isn't cigar, and then we get discouraged and quit, something like that. Okay, anybody else? I mean, why the negative approach?
Well, I think that you said it already.
Okay.
If we're going to succeed, we have to catch our own mind in all the many different ways it's going to fail, right? So, that's basically what it's about. It's pointing out all those places, so it's looking at for those failures.
Yeah. I'll talk about that for a second, and I'll come back to you, okay?
Well, that's the practice of Buddhism, is to find our mind where it is mistaken and apply the emphasis.
Okay. That's the whole approach. Nick?
And the more subtle our misunderstanding gets, the more we think we're right.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody over here. Alex.
Process of elimination.
Nice. I like that. Yeah. I think so far what I've read, I've only read like 3/4 of everybody's. It's about 50 different wrong meditations. So, yeah, how many can we do? I don't know. Michael?
Doctor, if you don't know what it is, you can't beat it.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's a Buddhist principle that to defeat a negativity, you have to know what it looks like. Yeah. And by the way, he's going to have a beautiful verse about that. Diamond mining when you never saw a diamond. Lisa.
Difficult to speak the truth, so say when it's not neti.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Yeah, go at it that way. It'd also be a really short book if he just talked about it. Hector, you got an idea?
Like seductive, I think it's speeding our progress. Instead of taking eons to get those understandings, it's saying, look at the vast ocean of human thought about what reality is inside and out, particularly in your mind. And so investigate this way. And then you go, well, but this is Buddhism. This one has those 4 seals. This is, look, we're all Buddhists. And then it moves you up there and up there. And so it's the answer that everyone gave, really. It's like pushing us to the edges, the misunderstanding, the gotcha. But it's speeding up. If I had to do that on my own, it would take me lifetimes beyond measure.
Yeah,
so
cool.
Having all the thoughts of mind and say,
cool. I haven't read the last quarter. Like, I don't know if he keeps being negative, or I don't know what happens at the end. Word. I didn't offer any money, but you can answer anyway.
Fine. Well, I have a simple answer. He's a Galupa, and it's a debate text.
Yeah, he's of the Buddhist school of Tibet, which especially appreciated the ancient tradition of debate.
We're just supposed to give the wrong answer like 7 times.
Yeah, and that's a principle in debate. Like when you start a debate, you always say something slightly wrong, and then you let the other guy try to prove you wrong. Especially if you're a senior monk trying to train a junior monk, instead of saying this is what's correct, this is what's correct, you say, is this correct? And you give them a slightly wrong idea, and they know it's supposed to be slightly wrong, and they have to beat you, They have to find what's slightly wrong, and that's how Buddhist education goes. What's it called? The 3 steps. Buddhist pedagogy. Pedagogy? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Shenlu Gapa. Ranglu Shakpa. Tsopongwa. Okay. Shenlu Gapa means? Nick, wake up. You gotta, man. You gotta take some drugs before you come here. Yeah, so in the classic Buddhist method of education, you don't write a textbook. You write a book of wrong ideas. And the student studies that first, Shenlu Gapa. And then? Presentation of our position. Then you present the correct position. Then what do you do?
Then you let the other guy, who's really us, come back.
Not really. Yeah, then you let the other guy come back.
And then you destroy him again.
Yeah, he gets to counterattack, you see. So, and then by listening to all the wrong ideas, you learn something, okay? Which is how life goes, right? You screw up, and then you... I wrote a book with a Russian friend, right? Uzbeki friend. He's Mirza Karim Narbyakov. And he has sold 30 million books, which is like, I haven't sold 1 million books. And so he came to one of my lectures in Europe, and we decided to write a book together because of the anti-Muslim stuff going on in this country. So I thought it'd be cool to write a book with a Muslim author. Maria helped us a lot, and we made a pact that we would write a book called "The 10 Biggest Mistakes in Life and How Not to Make Them" or something like that. Because he's the same age as me, and he's a rascal. We have a DCI joke. I don't know why I have to meet these people. So then we both wrote for 6 months. And then he called me back. He got back to me. I forget if you sent me his email, but he said, look, 5 mistakes in my life ain't going to make it. I got like 100, and can we change the name of the book, So the book is still called 10 Biggest Mistakes in Your Life. But the first half is his mistakes, and then you turn the book over, and then there's my 10. So we got 20, but we still kept the book title. Makes sense? Okay. Anyway, I started reading his finally, and it's good. So yeah, if you start from mistakes, it's better, I think. Okay, ready for some mistakes? Okay, this is bad meditation number 12. I didn't want to call them bad because it's bad to call people bad, so I called it ineffective meditation number 12. Okay, and he proposes. Okay, this other guy proposes. Sit down, close your eyes, and watch thoughts pop up on your mind. Okay. And that will take you to happiness, That's a way that you can deal with unpleasant people, okay? Is there any... I'm going to ask you 2 questions, okay? Number 1, is there any benefit you can see to that approach? And 2, is it ultimate? Does it fix the problem? Number 1, is there anything good about that approach?
Sure, helps you
what?
You're training your mind to watch the thoughts that are...
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and well, don't forget what we're talking about is a state of mind that you hold all day. The inner conversation. It's a monitor. Somebody, no, I can't say that. There's 2 important tools in all meditation practices, Tremba and Shishin. Okay, Tremba and Shishin.
An alarm mind.
Yeah, but which one comes first?
Shishin.
Yeah, Shishin, which is a smoke alarm, okay? It's a smoke alarm. And it's a state of mind that you train in your meditation mind to go off, beep, 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 if you start thinking about something else, right? What are the 2 classic other things you start thinking about?
Food and sleep.
Food and... Food and sex, yeah. Yeah, it's, what do we call it? Qingge, right? What's Qingge? Qingwang. Yeah, like your mind gets too busy, which means, I like to say you're thinking about lunch, okay? And then Qingwa? Yeah, you get sleepy, which is the result of lunch, if you try to eat before meditating, okay? So these are the 2 classic faults of meditation. Somebody tell me what's a samapatti?
Equal staying in between those 2 faults.
Yeah, it's the Sanskrit word. One of the many Sanskrit words for meditation is samapatti, which means a state of balance. which means you are watching not getting sleepy, and you're watching not getting too high. And it's compared to driving a car. Yeah, like if you watch a good driver, their hands are moving constantly. And a person who's a good meditator, they're constantly correcting themselves as they go, okay? Between those two. Now, that's not what we're, but oh yeah, so the positive part of this meditation number 12, other guy's meditation, the good part is that you would become sensitive to your own mind. Your what would become strong? Shishin. Yeah, your ability to turn on the fire alarm when your mind starts wandering, okay? So that's the positive thing. What's the negative thing?
It's not ultimate. It's not complete freedom.
Yeah, you're just aware that you're irritated. You see what I mean? You're like, wow, look, irritated thoughts, asshole. You know, you're like, wow, look, my mind is irritated. You know, but it doesn't fix it. You see, probably it's a necessary first step, right? You have to know your mind's out of control to control it. But okay, so that's our criticism of that meditation. It's nice to sit and watch your mind. Thoughts pop up. That's okay, but it's not going to fix the problem. Okay, it's a first step. And that's okay. All of these meditations, I think to get in this book, you had to have something good about your meditation. To get kicked out of, to get your butt kicked in this book is an honor. And you have to have a decent, fake meditation. Okay, now, second one. And this is worth $100. Who's my treasurer? Peter? Okay, I'll give you like a pile of money before class. Then you have to give it out. Okay, keep a list. If you lose a few names, it's okay. He's on human computer. Look over there. Chiwa Chuku Lamkir. Chiwa Chuku Lamkir. You guys who spent 7 years going through 20,000 pages of Vajrayana at Diamond Mountain. Sometimes I think no one ever heard anything.
Water flowing in the eyes?
You should pay me. Shiwa. Death, Chuka. This lady with the white hair. $100, you gotta pay me back. Take me out to dinner. Okay. Okay, this is a tantric practice. Okay, this is a hard tantric practice, but he refers to it, so I can talk about it. Now, the next meditation is that some people say, if you watch your thoughts fade away, okay, the first guys want to watch your thoughts pop up. The other guys say, watching your thoughts fade away is Chuku Lamkir. Say Chuku Lamkir. And this is a very important tantric principle, okay? And he mentioned it so I can talk about it. Chuku means the Dharma body. So the Buddha, supposedly when you become a Buddha, you have 3 or 4 different bodies, okay? Which are not real bodies, they're just called bodies. It means parts of you, okay? So call them the 4 parts of you, okay? Chuku means what? I know, but...
Emptiness of the other bodies.
Yeah, you can say the emptiness of you. After Nick becomes Buddha Nick, like Saint Nicholas. Yeah, the emptiness of Nick is the core of that Buddha, okay? And we'll talk about it, okay? What's yeah, then there's Pardo. Say Pardo. Longgu. Lamkir. Pardo. Longgu. Lamkir. What's Pardo? Yeah, after you die. Spirit life. Up to 49 days, okay? In the spirit realm, Pardo, is the Longku. Yeah, the body in heaven, okay? The heaven body. So, according to Buddhism, when you become a Buddha, part of you parks in a heaven. There's a part of you that parks your physical body in heaven. This, you know, the kind of body you see in the paintings of a, like this, not so bad, but some kind of divine form, right? And you hang out in your own heaven with this form. It's called longku, which means body of enjoyment. And that's compared to the bardo, okay? That's compared to the bardo. Because death itself, in a tantric presentation, is kind of like entering emptiness, okay? It's kind of like entering emptiness. And then you can ride it if you're trained, okay? You can ride the death experience to emptiness if you're trained properly. And we did it in the Lamrim course for, I don't know, 10 days. And I'm not doing it over for another year or two. And you've been through all that. But you can, as you die, you can carry it to a higher reality, okay? And that's called chiwachuku, okay? Using death as a ticket. Lam kyer means what for $100? Oh, no, you did it already. I'm sorry. Lam means path, okay? Kyer, he means use it. It means to carry something, like a donkey would carry something. But it means to use the death experience for something higher. Transform it. It means to transform it, okay? Into a path, okay? To use it as a path, okay? So that's chiwachuku lamkir, okay? What's the next one? Pardo. Longku lamkir. Use the pardo experience as taking on a super beautiful, sexy angel's body. Why does it relate to pardo, to the bardo? You take on an ephemeral body during the bardo. You take on a temporary form. You take on like a spirit form. It's almost angelic in that you can't cut it with a knife and things like that. It's similar to this rainbow body in the heaven, okay? It's similar to this kind of exquisite heavenly form, okay? Which if you put your hand through it, your hand would go through, which is why they call it a rainbow. So if you ever tried to walk to a rainbow, it just kind of takes you in, and you never, yeah, okay? So that's pardo longku lamkya. And then what's kyewa? I know, but come on, Nick. Yeah, tuku, yeah, emanation body. Okay, so every Buddha, Seiji got it right, but I didn't bet anything, okay? Every Buddha has one of the reasons to become a Buddha is that you have the power to send avatars, send bodies to other worlds. I like to say you can be on the bus in LA next to an elderly lady helping her, and at the same time you can be in Beijing as someone's Peking dog and making that elderly person happy. You see? But multiplied times countless billions at the same time. So you have the power to send out bodies. It's almost as if you are reborn every second. Okay? Kyewa, sekyewa, chuku, lamkyer. Okay? So now you got the principle, right? And you have to be extremely well educated in the classics to read this poem. Because he just says chuku lamkyer. He doesn't explain it. And there's no commentary. He never wrote a commentary. So, and what he's saying is, he's trying to compare it to the opposite of the last meditation. Who can tell me?
Just watching your thoughts?
That was watching what? Yeah, good. Watching your thoughts fade. And there's a school that developed in Tibet of just trying to bring up random thoughts during meditation and watch them fade. And then each time they fade, you go through the death process. You go through chiwachuku lamkyer, pardo longku lamkyer, kyewachuku lamkyer, okay? Cool? Is it useless?
No.
I think it's sexy. I have designed these meditations on the ones he's complaining about. To be frank, like present moment meditation was one of his first complaints. So yeah, they're useful, they're okay. You can use it, it's okay. It's all right. But it's incomplete. There's something, it's beautiful, it could be useful, it has problems, okay? It has some problems. Now, you want to know one of the problems, okay? And by the way, I am gonna give you a break in about 20 minutes. So stop complaining in your head. This is a big theme throughout his whole poem, is that your mind is mistaken all the time, okay? Not sometimes. In fact, in Prasangika, you never have a sema until you see emptiness directly. Never. Okay? You never saw anything correctly in your whole life. Physical, mental, anything. Everything was mistaken. Poison. Okay? So what he's saying here, okay, ready? Every time you're aware of your own mind, and you're not thinking about the emptiness of it, you are throwing more poison in the well. You are reinforcing a bad habit that has been going for time with no beginning. Every time you get irritated at someone, it has to be that you're misunderstanding them. If you misunderstand them, you are reinforcing the state of mind that put you in this world. Okay? It's scary, you see? What it means is, every hour that goes by that you don't have an internal conversation, debate about something, you are reinforcing your negativities, okay? And they'll get stronger and stronger, okay? It's nasty. What do you call that?
Pernicious.
Pernicious, exactly. It's nasty. Okay? It gets worse. Just being alive makes you a worse person. How's that? Okay? If you don't have angel talking in your head. Okay? And that's what he's saying. He says, that's a cute idea. You go to Tantra in your meditation. You imagine as the thought disappears into emptiness that this is the emptiness body of a Buddha. And it's kind of cool, you know. But in the end, you are just watching your thoughts. And your thoughts are wrong. Okay? Your thoughts are infected. And the longer you watch them, the worse you'll get. Okay? Watching your mind without thinking about where it's coming from poisons the watcher and the mind being watched. Okay, got it? It's depressing. All right. Okay. Let's go to the next depressing one. I don't know why he goes there, okay? He's been there. He's going to go there again. And I took the 4 spaces meditation came from here, okay? The 4 wrong ideas about space. Okay, so emptiness meditation is sometimes called namkatabu. Space-like meditation. You know, so that name itself caused a lot of problems. People close their eyes and try to see blue. And then more advanced people close their eyes and try to see black. And then more advanced people close their eyes and try to see...
Empty space.
Yeah, the space in which the chair is standing, which is more subtle, can only be seen with your third eye. Okay? It can only be seen with logic, clear thinking. I like to call it clear thinking nowadays, sometimes. Okay? So he's covered that, okay? I don't know why he brings it up here, but he says, look, there's some people who said, as you watch the thought disappear, reflect on how it's not physical. Because that's a negative, and emptiness is a negative. Is emptiness a negative?
Sure.
Yeah. Give me a credit card example.
Discover card.
Yeah, tell the whole story. Make it right. I got taking John Brady to Cucina.
So I take John Brady Cucina.
Come on, you never did that.
No, that's why.
Okay.
And
Yeah, come on, don't be shy.
so I take John Brady to Cucina. And we have.
Explain what's Cucina.
Okay, so in the village of Oak Creek, we have like one restaurant, and it's called Cucina Rustica, right? It's a full name, and it's a really nice restaurant, and we go there pretty often, and so Lama John Brady's doing something amazing for ACIP, like paying me And so I'm like, oh, let me use some of this money to take Lama John out. And so we take him to the restaurant, and we have a good time, and we laugh and cry and everything. And it comes time to pay the bill. So I'm like, oh, no, Lama, I wouldn't dream of you paying. So I go in my pocket to go for my credit card. But here's the thing. The credit card that I was going to go for was a Discover card. Oh.
Changed your shirt.
You changed your
Oh yeah. So I go for it, and I only have like one pair of pants. If you guys hadn't noticed already, after 5 years, I have 2 pairs of pants, and so I put the wrong ones on. So I'm like, oh, don't worry, I'll pay for it. And I go, I start searching. I'm like, and I don't have the credit card on me.
Yeah.
And so
That's kind of empty.
that's like emptiness, because it's an absence of something. But if you really understand emptiness, you realize that the thing that emptiness is empty of never could exist in the first place. So the thing about the card that I was going for is that it was a Discover card, which is not really a credit card anyway. All right.
Yeah, so emptiness means something's not there that you thought was there. But the trick is, the thing you thought was there should be something that couldn't exist. It has to be something that couldn't exist, okay? So thinking that it's a good meditation to think about how your thoughts are not physical is a problem. Why? Physical exists. Yeah, you're canceling something that does exist, okay? Peter, you and Maria are gonna do the 2 husbands thing? Can you? No? You want to? She's like, no. You don't have to be. You want to? Quick? Can you do it quick? No, only if you want to. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to, but it'd be nice. I need another husband. Come on, quick. Nada будет два мужа. Yeah? You want to try? Yeah, do it for people, not because it's comfortable. Okay. Wait, who's gonna be the other husband? JB wants to. Okay, you guys want to take a moment and prepare? You want to? No, it's totally up to you guys. You get it ready. You tell me when you're ready, okay? And I'll keep stalling. All right. Okay. So, if the thing was ever there, and you cancel it, that's not meditation. That's not emptiness. Okay.
Isn't a physical thought the same thing as a pink elephant? It doesn't exist.
That's true too. Yeah, that's kind of a cute argument. I'll give you some Monopoly money for that. You guys ready? Okay. Can you just be loud, or maybe Maria and use the microphone? Okay. All right. Go. Okay. Don't be shy. I'm not. I'm the wife.
He's not shy.
We need 2 children also, right?
Yeah.
Who want to be 2 children? Actually, it's always those. Okay, do you want to be the children? They're busy. Can 2 children volunteer who sit in these 2 chairs?
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, the story is about how do we create things, right? And it incorporates both emptiness, what is not there, and how things do exist. So, I'm the wife. These are 2 husbands. I'm coming home one night after a long day at work, and I even bought food for the dinner, and I'm just happy that I come home to my husband. And the only thing that I really want is a hug, because I'm just exhausted. And so as I come home, I open the door, I step in, I'm looking for my husband. Can I do it later? Okay. Before I come home, 2 days before that, 3 days before that, the evening before, I have a assignment at my work. My boss tells me that the next day in the morning I have to be earlier at
work because there's a Skype call, probably with the Germans. And so I come home and I tell my 2 children, who are very attentive, and ask them, can you please tomorrow morning get up 1 hour earlier, dress up, put your shoes on, put your clothes on, and then be ready to go at 7 and not at 8. Is that okay?
Yes, Mom.
Otherwise, we assign you for adoption. She doesn't care. Anyway, okay. They say yes. They're super happy about that. Next day in the morning, I wake up 1 hour earlier. I get ready to leave for the office. I come down. I get into the room, and what do I see? The 2 children jumping on the bed. They're not dressed. They're not ready to go, and I get really frustrated. And because I forget the angel in my head that we're going to learn about today, I'm saying, you 2 are the stupidest kids in Sedona. And then I wrap them up, go to the office, and forget about the whole thing. 2 days later, or a week later, I come home to the situation I described before, where I'm just tired and exhausted from work, buying dinner, and my expectation as I open the door is that my husband is going to give me at least a hug. And as I open the door, and I step in, and I'm kind of waiting for the hug,
You're stupid!
my husband, who's not doing anything else, but except to give me hugs in the evening sometimes, he's not even do that anymore. And I'm get totally upset because I didn't do anything. And that's the example, like the discovery card, where it is it true that I didn't do anything? No, right? And what's the connection? You yelled at the children. So I assume where we're going tonight, I don't know, but the angel in the head would probably have to tell me in that very difficult and crucial moment that anything that happens to me must have a cause. And when I step in, we're getting there, and I expect a hug, and he's saying,
You're stupid!
I have to remember that there are 2 husbands in the kitchen. Right? Why are there 2?
It's illegal.
In this case, it's okay.
Because you had 2 children.
Because I have to say okay. Because it's me? Because it's me?
Yeah, you're the jerk telling yourself that you were.
Oh, I see. That's one possibility. Any other ideas? Why are the 2 husbands there?
Because one doesn't exist.
Exactly. One does not exist. Right? There's one husband in the kitchen who does exist, and one husband who doesn't exist. What's the husband that does exist? Say again?
The one that comes from yelling at the kids.
Exactly. Is that husband also yelling at me?
Yes.
Yes. So there is a yelling husband. It does exist, but it comes from because I have created him in the past. How about the second one, the one with the long blonde hair? That doesn't exist at all. Right? Because that's a husband that could exist from his side in this case. It could be a husband that is not created by my own actions. And which one of the 2 husbands do I get angry about?
The long blonde hair.
The long blonde hair husband, who doesn't exist at all because husbands don't have long blonde hair, right? Well, okay. Sometimes they don't have that. So, what is the right reaction in this case? What is the effect of the angel in my mind when I understand the theory of these teachings and can apply them in the practical moment, which is so difficult for at least me? I get home. I forgot the story of the kids a long time ago, and it doesn't matter at that moment. I step in. I expect something good to happen.
Stupid!
And this is time slowed down. I'm like, wait a moment. This is not nice. I don't like it. What should I do now? I really hate it, actually. And if I have the angel in my mind, the angel will say, because you really hate it, you're just going to accept it and you're not going to yell back. You're going to go to the real husband and say, I'm sorry, I had a bad day.
That's okay, honey.
And all is good. Thank you.
Yeah, so the point of which meditation was it? 13. Kind of 13. Nah, 14. Anyway, forget it. Yeah, it's kind of half of 13. Okay, second half of 13. It's verse number 119, because the guy went on a detour and said that emptiness is that your thoughts are not physical. Okay, but that can't be emptiness because physical things do exist. Okay, so emptiness means, and think about the difference. Okay. If someone called you stupid in the kitchen when you came home and you got mad at your husband and he turned around and it turns out to be your neighbor, right? What happens to your anger? Yeah, it just... I like to give the example. It's kind of a depressing example because I've actually been there, but... So your girlfriend or your partner is on the phone like this, you know. You come in and she's like, and you're like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, nothing, you know. And you're like, by the way, this is a long time ago, okay? And you're like, well, who are you texting? And you're like, oh, nothing, you know. And then you get you start to worry that she has another boyfriend, right? And then so you're cool though, and you don't say anything. But that night, when she's asleep, you get the phone and you check, right? And it turns out to be she was buying you a birthday present on Amazon, and it was a secret. Okay? And that's why she hid the phone. Okay? So where is the new boyfriend?
Nowhere.
Yeah. Completely non-existent. You see what I mean? So then how do you feel about him? You just feel stupid. Okay? Like, so we're not talking about that you picked up her phone. You thought it was Fred, and you pick up the phone and it was John instead, and you were slightly mistaken. Okay? It's not a case in Tibetan of mayin. It's not a case of mistaken identity. It's not that you thought she was texting this guy who might be her boyfriend, but she was texting a different guy who might be her boyfriend, okay? That's not emptiness. Emptiness is you find out she was ordering you a birthday present on Amazon. And the whole boyfriend thing, what do you call that?
Dissipates, diffuses.
How do you make it more dramatic than that?
Dissolves.
Implodes is pretty good. It just dissolves. That's emptiness, okay? And that's what it does to your heart. Like you just, oh man, that's so weird. I thought it was a boyfriend. Oh, she bought me a birthday present. You know? Like it's a totally opposite thing, okay? So if you're going to do an emptiness meditation on someone who irritates you, the result should be some kind of joy. And not some kind of, mistaken identity. It's not who I thought it was. That's not it. It's that he dissolves. The problem dissolves, okay? If you are trying to deal with a problem as a Buddhist, and you're trying to use emptiness, and that problem doesn't dissolve in front of you, you don't have an angel in your head, and you don't understand Buddhism. And you're not practicing, okay? At this level. Okay, we're not talking watch your breath Buddhism. Is it Buddhism? It is. Buddha taught watch your breath. Okay, what's it called? There's some Sanskrit name. In Tibetan it's called Uk Jungum. Okay, Uk Jungum. Say Uk Jungum. The Abhidharma Kosha, 350 AD, Master Vasubandhu. Watch your breath. Okay, that's okay. That's a Buddhist meditation. But it's not gonna make you happy. It's not gonna make the guy dissolve, the boyfriend dissolve, you see? And you feel like this intense relaxation after the boyfriend dissolves, you see? So if you don't get it straight, the angel emptiness meditation, where the person who's irritating you or the obstacle in your life doesn't dissolve, you're not doing meditation on emptiness. You're doing some lesser meditation, okay? And you're not really a complete Buddhist, okay? So now you have a new thing to be depressed about. Okay, we got 5 minutes. I'm going to give you a break, okay? So don't stress. Now, Bets, are we on or not? Did you get my email? We're on? Okay. Now, we have a translation team upstairs, 10 primary translators, about 80 secondary translators, and they are translating the classics. And the book now goes to a famous emptiness meditation called Chik Tu Dao. Say Chik Tu Dao. Chik Tu Dao. And recently, up in the Enlightenment Cavern, Betsa's text, Venerable Utpala's text, reached his next point. Okay, so he's going to talk about a famous emptiness meditation called Chik Tu Dao. Neither one nor many. Neither one nor many. Okay, very famous. But her book, the presentation of it, is the best presentation I ever saw in I don't know, 40 years or 35 years, okay? It's the best. So she's supposed to teach it tomorrow. And I said, can I borrow it? And you teach something else. And she graciously said, okay. Okay. So I thought, well, since we're going through this text so fast, we might want to take a detour to her book. And it's the best presentation I ever saw of this particular emptiness meditation, okay? So it's called Chik Tu Dao. Now, it's called One or Many, the emptiness of one or many. And it's very famous. And his presentation in her book, Choni Lama, is the best I've ever seen. And I just want to steal it. And she said, go for it. So thank you for that. And I really wanted to do it, so I'm grateful to you. I'll pay you back somehow someday. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to teach it straight from the text, okay? And we went through it, and she translated it, and it's amazing. Okay, so here we go. We're going to an emptiness meditation text. This is her text from the authors from 1648 to 1721, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I am mistaken. 1675 to 1748. I was mistaken. Anyway, it's about 300 years ago, and a beautiful presentation is meditation. Now, guess why he brings up that meditation here?
Because there's something flawed.
Beautiful. Yeah, someone's messing it up. Okay? Someone's trying to do this ancient emptiness meditation, and they're doing it slightly wrong. Okay? That's his thing. Right? He's going to present it slightly wrong. But you can't appreciate it if you don't know it in the first place. So I have to go through it. You ready? And this is the best presentation I ever saw. That's a good place to take a break, right? Well, okay, 1 minute. Yeah. So there's something wrong about stuff. Like when I look at Gyeltsen, I look at her arms and her head and her legs and her torso, and my mind puts it together as a person. Okay, this is her parts. Is she one? Is she one person? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Looks like, okay. But how do I see the one person? I gotta have parts. There's gotta be parts. You can't see a person without looking at their parts first, you know? You look one arm, one leg, other leg, head, torso. Okay, person, okay? So we're trying to prove that there's no one, okay? Why is that done before proving there's no many?
That's another option left.
Who said that? Yeah, manys are made of oneses. Manys are made of oneses. If there's no one Gyeltsen in the chair, there can't be more than one, okay? Now, if there's neither one Gyeltsen nor multiple Gyeltsens, there's no Gyeltsen, okay? That's the classic proof. And it sounds stupid, but because it's so profound, okay? If I can prove that there's not one computer up here on the lectern, okay? And then I allow you to discuss is there two. Okay, if I can prove there's not one, then proving there's not two is easy. Proving there's not more than one is easy, okay? Because there's not one. Because if you don't have one, you can't have two, okay? So, if there's one object in the universe which doesn't have emptiness, okay? Then there can't be, if there's no object in the universe that doesn't have emptiness, there can't be multiple objects in the universe. Okay, got it? So the many just cancel it now. Okay? Forget it. I mean, I'll say it again. If this is not empty, okay? And I say, did I have 10 of those up here? Would there be something empty? You say, no. I mean, because one's not empty, okay? So all I have to prove is one. So forget the many, okay? We're going to go to the one. We're going to come back to this meditation tonight, I guess, depending on how long you pee-pee, I don't know, or what number you have to do. But we're going to come back and see how you can meditate. That's a good word for this book. Yeah, how can you meditate? Okay, and on this emptiness meditation. This is one of the most famous emptiness, one of the top 5 emptiness meditations. Okay, so let's do it when you get back. Come back by 8:30. All right, so to appreciate the next meditations in the book, you have to understand this ancient argument for emptiness, okay? To understand that ancient argument of emptiness, there are many, many presentations, but the one in Utpala's book is the best one I've ever seen, and I'm stealing it shamelessly. Okay, so Ona Dutren, so he's gonna prove that things have parts. And then we'll talk about why, if things have parts, they have to be empty. Okay, got it? So he's very thorough, which is why we love him. How many of our books are from him? Ben? Sugang? No, not Sugang.
No,
Stanley, Ben, and you, and Utpala. 3.
No, there's plus your commentary.
Yeah, so say, we're translating. This is a great Lama called Chonin Lama from about 300 years ago, right? Human computer? Yeah, okay. So anyway, here's his way of proving that things have parts, okay? And he does it DCI level 7 thing. He does a DCI level 7 thing. DCI level 7 is you go through all the categories of existence. Okay, so we're going to take a quick trip through all the categories of existence, okay? We're going to prove why each one of them has to have parts. When we finish that, we'll prove why, if it has parts, it has to be empty. Okay, ready? Here we go. So we start with physical stuff, okay? And science says that this microphone is made up of small atoms. Of, like, call it carbon and iron and oxygen and atoms, okay? I like to teach it this way. Atam is Sanskrit. Means not, like atheist or apathetic, agnostic. Where'd you find that? You're brilliant. Who's brilliant? One of those guys. Okay, yeah, this is DCI level 7. So the definition of existence in Buddhism is anything you can perceive with a correct perception. Then it's real, okay? Then it exists. There are 2 kinds of things in the universe. Those that exist and change, and those that exist and don't change, okay? Those are the two divisions of all things in the universe. Who's teaching the Abhidharma tomorrow? Oh, good luck, honey. I'm sorry. Sakche sapamechinam lama dobe dujinam sakche kanju dedala sanam kundu gebager samen lam gedembatan tumachinam sumyante namka dandi gopani. Very famous, the opening lines of Abhidharma Kosha. And 99.999% of stuff in the world is in the left side, the red left side. And then only 3 things are in the right side, okay, classically. And then changing things, you got physical things, and then you got things that change that aren't physical or mental, and then you got mental things, okay? This is the outline of Buddhism, the outline of the universe, okay? If we can prove each one has parts, then we prove that all things are empty. I'll take you there, okay? So don't get nervous. Tahia. She's not nervous. Okay, here we go. So, physical things. We're going to start with the left-hand box, okay? Physical things. Do they have parts? And we go to, we go to stuff the chair has legs, has arms, okay? And then the plastic has molecules, and the molecules have atoms, okay? And the atoms have quark and spin and other parts, okay? Subatomic particles. But atom, means not, right? Tum means divisible. And the word that comes from it in English is temple, because the temple was divided from the village in the old days. So it was called set apart. Temple means set apart from the village. And so atom means cannot be split, the thing which cannot be split. Which in science is reflected in the periodic table of the elements, okay? Meaning element. So what does element mean in science? It means this substance is the smallest you can get, and it retains its qualities, okay? So iron is still hard, and I don't know, oxygen is still airy, and things like that, okay? So if you break it, H2O, into H and O, it loses the quality of, you can't drink it anymore, okay? So when you go below an element, you lose the identity of the thing, and that's why it's called an element. That's why there's only 16, something like that, elements, because a piece of it won't act like the whole anymore, okay? Like a quark, all quarks are the same. All electrons, protons, neutrons act the same. It's only in a certain configuration, in certain kind of shells in the atomic structure, that it will act as an element. It's okay? When you take away one piece, it doesn't act the same anymore, okay? So that's what element means. That's the idea of an atom, okay? Then there's an idea that an atom cannot be split. We now split atoms, but you cannot split it and still retain its identity. That's not possible, okay? It won't be hard anymore, or it won't flow anymore, okay? So atom. Then he wants to talk about atomic theory. Now, this is considered the crudest form of philosophy in Buddhism, is atomic theory. It's considered the most stupid one, the lowest one, and it's the one that we believe. It's science, okay? So stuff is made of little pieces, and those pieces have an identity, okay? And then in the ancient times, they say they are the smallest thing. They cannot be divided. They are atomic. Okay, so here's Chunin Lama, okay? He says, okay, let's take this atom that you can't split anymore because it wouldn't act the same, so it has to be one thing, but it can't be divisible, right? So then he says, the way he puts it is, in your book, is so you have an atom here, and then you have an atom to the west, and you have an atom to the east, okay? So I was going to bring some tennis balls, but I didn't have time. And I didn't have any tennis balls, but so 3 tennis balls, okay? And Choni Lama is like, does the middle ball touch the ball on this side? Yes or no? Yes. Now, does the ball on this side touch the ball on this side? No. Okay? Which means that this ball must have a right side and a left side, right? Because there's a plate. If this ball touched this ball, where this ball touched this ball, then this ball's inside of this ball. Got it? Okay, you all right? I'll say it again. 3 balls. If this ball touches this ball, right? And then if this ball touches this ball, then it would have to touch it here. And then this ball would have to be in the same place as this ball, okay? So the one on the left would now be in the place of the one in the middle, okay? For the one on the left to touch the one on the right. Got it? Then the guy says, come on, that's stupid. The one in the middle is blocking it. You see? The one over here can't touch the one over here because there's the one in the middle. Don't be stupid. It's not necessary that this one has to touch this one because this one's in the middle. And he says, yeah, then it's not Tam ing. Then it has a right side and a left side. Then you can split it, you see? Okay, got it? And that's all. And in classical Buddhism, you'd say 4 directions and up and down, 6 directions. And he'd say it can't be, okay? So either this one is occupying the same space as this one, okay? Okay, got it? Then if you piled up atoms to make the chair, how big would the chair be? It couldn't be bigger than an atom, okay? If atoms take the same space, then you can't make a chair out of it. If you can make a chair out of it, you don't have atoms, okay? Then there's no elements. Or, oh no, Geshe, they are little balls. And their unique identity, they have a little unique identity, right? Right? Mm-hmm. But when you split them, they don't, okay? So the left side of the atom acts the same as the right side? Does a part of the atom act the same as another part of the atom?
Sure. No,
but then it can't be hard anymore. Because neutrons are generic. All of them have neutrons, all of them have electrons, all of them have protons, they all have spin, they all have quark. They all have it. But they aren't hard, okay? You gotta have the whole thing to have hard, okay? And if the atoms are only touching pieces of each other, they can't be hard anymore. Okay? Got it? Unless they're in the same ball, in which case the chair is 1 atom wide. Okay? Now, if I'm Nagarjuna, I will say, something's going on. Okay? And you just never thought about it. And I'm not trying to convince you of Buddhist philosophy. I'm not. I'm saying there's something weird going on. There's something not possible going on. That's all. Okay? Now let's go to some other box. I think he goes to the one in the middle next. Yeah. Okay? So there's stuff in the world that changes, that's not your mind, and it's not physical. And there's a couple of examples. There's not a lot of stuff in that box. One is Earl. Okay, Earl crawled into this box. The middle box, okay? The person is in this box. Because Earl is not Earl's body, and Earl is not Earl's mind, okay? Earl says, I have a headache. It means he doesn't say, I am a headache. I mean, he is a headache. But no, he doesn't say, I am a headache. So he's not his mind, but he has a mind, right? So he says, I have a headache. That means Earl is not his mind. And then he says, or I broke my finger. Then that means he owns the finger, but the finger is not Earl. Got it? Earl has a body, Earl has a mind. Earl, the concept Earl is in the middle box, okay? People are in the middle box, okay? Give me another thing that's in the middle box. Seeds, mental seeds, okay? When Peter yelled at his 2 kids, how was the seed planted? Karmic seed, vasana.
when you heard it.
Yeah, when you hear yourself talk, it makes an imprint on your brain. It makes an imprint on your mind. That becomes a seed after like an hour or 2. Okay, that becomes a karma. Seed, mental seed, karma, same thing. Okay. Are those mind? Yes or no? And tell me why. For $100.
They're not mine. Not mine because they're not aware.
Who said it first?
They don't know things.
Good. Okay. $100 for him, Peter. Don't tell V, okay? She says it's crass in the United States. Okay. But I find greed, everyone, yeah, people always give a good answer. Okay, so what he said was, seeds stay in the mind. And there's a common mistake made by Buddhists who hear that. They will say, well, the seed is in the mind, so the seed is part of the mind. But that's a mistake, okay? And the classic argument is that the seed doesn't know anything, you see? So the definition of mind for $0. Ineffable and aware. And seeds are not aware. They don't think, they don't feel, they don't have impressions, okay? So seeds belong in the mind, but they're not mental stuff. And they're obviously not physical, okay? Why? Because you have billions of seeds in your heart chakra and you didn't get, your chest didn't explode. Okay? Right? I mean, you have countless karma seeds in your heart chakra, but they don't, pile up. They're not physical. They are a state of potential. Okay? The karma. Okay, another example. Come on. Choni Lama example. In his text. Time. Who said that? You are so awesome. I don't know. You're probably listening to one of those videos. Yeah, time itself. Time is in there. It's not physical, it's not mental. It's a concept. Concepts are mostly there, okay? Now, Choni Lama wants to take some of those concepts and prove that they have parts. That's our game today. We're trying to finish it by 9 o'clock. I don't know what's going to happen. We're trying to finish one verse out of 110. Okay, so here we go. Why does the person, according to Choni Lama, have parts? I don't know if you remember. They stand up, they sit down, they walk around. Nick walks, Nick sits, Nick stands. So Nick has parts. Okay, there's different aspects of Nick. Phases? He has parts, whatever. Okay, so that's the person. For $0, time has parts because, yeah, past, present, future, but more interestingly, if you think of time as tennis balls, okay, then there's got to be a ass end of the first moment and a front end of the first moment. You see what I mean? And the butt end of the first moment has to touch the front end of the second moment. So moments have pieces also. Got it? Because there's sequential time. Time goes on in sequence. So the back end of the first moment has to be touching the front end of the second moment. That means every moment's divisible. If the back end of the first moment, you ready? Doesn't touch the front end of the second moment, and all of the first moment touches the second moment, and they're not, and you don't want to talk about front end and back end of a moment, then all reality is in one moment, and it just ends in one moment. Okay, got it? It's easy. It's like the atom thing. Okay. All right, mental things. They're sexy, super sexy. What do you say? Do you remember? I read it over again today twice. So. Nice. There's only two kinds of minds in the universe. Either you saw emptiness or you didn't. You have the angel in your mind perfectly, or you don't. And that's all he says another thing. I forget what he says. One more thing. Time of the flow of the mind. Okay, and that's okay. Same principle. Okay, the time of the flow of the mind. But anyway, the mind. You have parts of your mind that understand emptiness to some extent. And then you have parts of your mind that don't. So your mind has parts, okay? Ready? Now we go more deep, which is why I like his presentation. I told you now the diamond-shaped red box, okay? Things that exist but don't change. Give me some. Especially Abhidharma. Yeah, empty space, okay, is one example. Yeah, the two kinds of cessation. And facts is close. You're stuck in school. Huh? Emptiness. Okay, three things that don't change. Okay, let's do the most easy one first, and then we'll go to more difficult ones. Okay, so the empty space that the chair occupies, okay? Got it? So the chair, even if I pull the chair over here, there will still be a place where it was, okay? Empty space. So that doesn't change. As long as the chair is there, it doesn't change. If you pull the chair over here, the empty space also remains. You can occupy it or you can absent it, vacate it. Exactly. But it don't change in either case. If this whole world explodes, what happened with Trump and the guy? How'd it go?
Not well.
No, but did it mess up or was it just like nothing?
Sometimes you have to walk away.
That's it all?
Yeah. I think they agree.
I just wondered if I'm going to be gardening tomorrow or not. That's the thing.
Why not? Yes.
So it went okay. Anyway, okay, I can tell you. That's why it wasn't in the news. Okay. I can't get it from you either. Yeah, occupy the space. So the space doesn't change. Now, does the space have parts? Yeah, there's the two spaces here. Okay, there's the space that chair is in, and there's the space that chair is in. So space in general has parts. Okay, there's the space, yeah, directions. But he says it more sexy. He says the space that this chair vacates and the space that chair vacates when you pull them both out are different spaces. Okay, so space in general has parts. Okay, empty space has parts. Okay, and it's cool. Next one. The two cessations, okay? Cessation. What's a cessation? How are you going to define it?
The end of something, when something stops forever.
Not something, though.
Well, your mental affliction specifically.
Yeah, a negative state of mind. Okay, so Buddhism is fascinating. The whole purpose of Buddhism is, can you get to a place where your kids or your partner cannot make you angry ever again? Like, is it even theoretically possible? Rick's like, I don't know. She's like hitting him. See? There it is right there. But he always smiles. He's got that Buddhism thing down. Yeah, two cessations. Okay, if we go Abhidharma way, it means the permanent ending of a negativity. You can never be made angry again. I remember when I was a kid, it was my little brother's goal to make me angry. And he would actually say that. He'd say, I'm going to make you angry today. I'd say, okay, try it. And he usually could do it. Okay. Why two kinds of cessation? What's the two in the Abhidharma? Sosa tango, sosa
One
tamingiko.
during meditation that happens temporarily, and one that happens permanently.
You can say it that way. That's one way to say it. You stop your gross thought processes. That's a cessation. And then at a deeper level, you see emptiness and you stop anger forever, for example. Something like that. But there's another way. Yeah, meaning, okay. If you understand emptiness theoretically from the pen, you achieve what?
The Jorlam Supa.
Jorlam Su, which means if you die today, you cannot go to a bad place. It's not universe possible. It's not possible that you can be born in a bad place. Okay, if you understand emptiness theoretically, correctly, well, from a pen, not in meditation, you cannot be born in a bad place. So you guys should learn how to teach the pen. You should teach the pen. You should teach it to people on the airplane sitting next to you who ask you what you do. I do it because I think maybe I saved this person from the hell rounds, You know, why not? He just thinks I'm weird. It's okay. I'm used to that. Okay, all right. So that's okay. And then of course there's seeing emptiness directly. Okay, all right. Now, let's take the cessations. Why would it have parts? The ending of a negativity would have parts. Why?
Different sensations?
Yeah, no, different negativities. Look, I got an end of my jealousy. Look, I have an end of my anger. Look, I have an end of my desire. Okay, these are separate entities. Okay, unchanging. They will never come back. They will never change. Okay, the loss, permanent loss. Cessation's a weird word, right? You don't use cessation in English. We had a cessation of my girlfriend and me. Something like that, okay? But it means permanent loss. You can't, like John and me's hair, okay? It's not, I don't know, maybe we'll come back, but I'm not holding my breath. Okay? Stem cells, yeah. We'll work on it. Okay, so anyway, that's a permanent loss, okay? But there are different permanent losses, that's all. So there's parts to permanent loss. Got it? Now, we just have to go to emptiness and we're done. And it's right on time. Okay, I'm going to stop in 4 minutes. Anyone can tell me Wait, for $100. Don't tell me, okay? Peter raised his hand before I asked a question. It's like, I'll take a shot, Geshe. No, I'm not. It's not that easy. Okay. I want you to explain to me why emptiness can have parts. And in doing it, I want you to explain why there's another kind of idea about emptiness having parts, which is wrong. And you guys had it upstairs.
I have one.
When the snow hit the...
Because emptiness of a thing is only one emptiness.
Wait, you weren't in the class. Forget it. It's impossible. No, this is very difficult. Come on. Choni Lama's example was faulty.
Not the kung, right?
Huh? Yeah, give me more. Give me more. You get up to $20. 19. 18.
Yeah, because when he talks about emptiness, he says
Come on.
the emptiness of the...
You can split it if you guys get it right, but it might take the whole year.
He used the word kongtong, which means
Kongtong.
the emptiness of a vessel.
Good.
Space within
Good.
the vessel.
Okay.
But that doesn't count because it's not just place occupied.
Yeah. He said the space in a coffee cup, right? That's on that desk, and the space in a coffee cup that's on that desk, okay? Is that emptiness? No, it's just the distance between two things, okay? Don't think that's emptiness. That's a big mistake. It doesn't help you. You cannot build, I don't know, the largest diamond jewelry company in the world based on how wide is the cup. It doesn't, that's not emptiness, okay? Emptiness should be something you can use to make cool stuff, to make anything happen, okay? If it's not that, it's not emptiness, okay? Empty is supposed to be the key to the universe, okay? So that was the wrong one. What's the right one? Nick had it. $33 each, 30 cents for Utpala because it's her text.
There's many things in the world and they each have their own emptiness.
Yeah, why?
Because emptiness.
Okay, she gets 33. You're representing her. Tell Aaron. Okay. More?
Oh, I should say.
Yeah, come on. No, she asked you to do it for her. She'll pay you 30.
I'll pay her.
Okay.
Emptiness each. So where were we? Each thing has its own emptiness.
Yeah, good.
And there's no just emptiness that would exist independent of a thing to be empty. Something has to be empty.
Yeah, last thing. Okay, $100 again. Don't tell V. Don't even tell her I didn't. Don't tell her I told you not to tell her.
Emptiness of telling her.
Okay, this is another $100. Let me get the question right. How does that relate to the two husbands?
When you...
The second husband is the distance between things. Doesn't exist. I mean, it's
No,
not
you
the
don't
thing.
say anything.
There's only one husband. Cessation.
Oh, I know. Let's see it.
What?
It was never there, so you can't even say that it's empty.
That's okay. You could say that. That's not bad.
Yes, I just said.
Okay, so 50-50. 50-50. Now, okay, last thing. Then we're done for tonight. And I'm ending on time. The angel in your head has to say, that was never there in the first place. She was buying me a gift on Amazon. There was no boyfriend. It has to dissolve. That's emptiness. You see, the person you thought was there, the husband who decided to be mean to you.
Never existed.
Say it the classic way.
Could never exist.
Could never exist.
Never will.
Never will exist. Doesn't exist now. Never existed in the past. Cannot exist now, and will never exist in the future. But I'll bet you $500 you'll get upset tomorrow.
Nobody's gonna take that.
Okay? Yeah. Because we know, but we can't do it. And I'm talking to myself too. You know, I've had a rough week that way. And it don't exist. The person who's getting you upset, who decided to say something to you, don't exist. Never existed. Okay? Got it? Utpala.
So I've been struggling with this concept of it dissolving, because that
Implies it was there?
implies that it was there.
Yeah, that's a
I'm
good...
wondering about if it's like a mirage that to be a
Describe it to me in the case of the telephone. Describe the process in your mind. She falls asleep. You wait for her to get asleep. You find out her secret code. You sneak around the bed. You keep down low. You reach up and get the phone. And then you open the phone, right? And you want to read the message from the boyfriend.
If you do all that, she should break up with you.
No, I'm just saying, no, you tell me. Because during the grabbing of the phone, during the waiting for her to sleep, during the sneaking around the bed, you have something in your mind. You have an image of a boyfriend. Yeah, but the hero of the story, the villain is there. You know, he's slightly more handsome than you. He's got more hair, you know. And then he's strong here, you know. And then you open her phone and you see Amazon order number 57 for, I don't know, new bicycle. And that was her last thing that she was texting exactly that moment. So what you tell me what happens to the boyfriend. But she doesn't want to say dissolve because her position is that he was never there.
Number one, it wasn't there. Number two, it doesn't get gradually smaller.
It's totally replaced with the true thing, right?
Yeah, it poof. Let's say poof. Let's say it poofs. Poof. Okay? Agree?
That's better.
The imagine.
Yeah.
The mental imagine.
The concept is there.
If you get the angel, if this class causes you to introduce the angel into your head, then no one can make you unhappy anymore. It's not possible. We're not talking about treating anger. We're not talking about making it better. We're talking about... That's what I'm saying, yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. So he's, in the end, the whole poem is to criticize lesser antidotes. He wants poo. Okay? He wants boyfriend gone. He doesn't want, try to deal with the boyfriend or try to understand the boyfriend also wants somebody or, you know, he's not talking about that. He's saying, you know. And then, you know, you just feel stupid because you thought she was texting somebody. Yes, irritate me. You're going to make me break it in the first minute after the talk. Okay, you didn't. What?
So, for the two husbands,
Yeah.
for it to actually be an antidote for samsara,
Yeah.
wouldn't you, in the end, have to realize that the person who got upset in the first place never was there to get?
That's true. I would say that. That's pretty subtle. That's pretty subtle.
Real life, right?
But I think it would be the yeah. But nga dang ngaya zimbelo. Nga dang ngaya zimbelo.
You and what you hold to be you?
The definition of the first link of the wheel of life is holds to me and mine, and the husband is mine.
No. No.
What's not mine if you're not? Your husband's not yours.
No, the mind versus the parts, not the...
No. Outside things are part of you.
It depends what school.
Yeah, well, my school. Okay. Hector, you want to do this thing?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a tradition to offer a mandala at the end of class, and you can do it this way if you don't know the finger thing, or you can look stupid and try to figure it out. No, it's kind of cute in class when somebody's just learn it from somebody, but you can do it this way. and you are offering the world, okay? The point is, this is the payment of the class. This is the traditional payment of the class. Money is not enough. You have to offer a perfect world. What's happening in a perfect world?
Everyone knows the two husbands.
Everyone has the angel in their head. So at the end of this class, as payment for the class, you are offering your imagination of a world where every single person has an angel in their head, and all the boyfriends went poof. I mean, except for the one you want. Okay. Probably not. I mean, on your computer? No, don't worry about it. Picture of my teacher with the globe, touching the globe. I don't know. Anyway, so we found a new picture of my teacher taken at McDougal Street, which is the place where he taught in New York briefly. And it's a beautiful photo because he's got his hand on top of the world. And I remember somebody asked a question. Oh, I heard. Yeah, I was there actually. And they said, Rinpoche, what do all the Buddhists do when they get enlightened? You know what I mean? Like, what do they do? What do they talk about? And he's like, well, they just get together and talk about emptiness and stuff. Anyway, even though they know what each other's going to say before they say it. So anyway, it's a pleasure to be in a room with so many people who spent so many years to learn these things. And I feel like it's just Buddhists talking to Buddhists, but it's still something worthwhile doing, right? Okay, so thank you for coming, and see you tomorrow. Okay.